Close your eyes and connect with yourself with a higher energy. Let us all pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your endless goodness to us. Thank you for all the skills and talents you have given us and for everyone who is the part of this beautiful team. We pray that you will provide us with great wisdom and insight as we have gathered here to participate in this in-house session. We open our hearts to you and invite your Holy Spirit to be present amongst us. This we pray in your holy name. Amen. Once again, good morning and a very delightful welcome to you all to this in-house session. I owe my respect and grateful to my principal, and SPSP of us, Mr. Amrita Kumar, for providing me this platform to interact with you all and to conduct this session. The topic that I have chosen today is a very familiar topic. In other words, we can say that it is a lifeline of academia, and we all are already into practicing. But at the same time, some of you feel it as a repetition because I said we are already into practice. But at the same time, it can be a new learning for all of us. So without taking much of your time, I introduce the topic for in-house session today, and the topic is Advanced Lesson Planning, the NEP2020Way. I have a simple question for you. What do you all like about your profession? Honestly answer. What impresses you in your profession? What do you all like about your profession, your teaching profession? It is your vocation, you have chosen it as your profession. So, what are the things that you like in this profession? Yes? Okay, interacting with children. Yes, ma'am? Imparting knowledge. Conveying message and teaching someone. Okay. What else? Yes, ma'am.
Section where we are getting paid for learning every day, and we learn new things every day, and we are getting paid for that. So if we take it in that sense, it is very good.
Like we are paid for something doing constructive, right? What else? Anything else you want to add? Okay. Now, what you don't, yes, ma'am?
Contribute to nation.
Yes, we can contribute in nation building. What you don't like about your profession?
Copy correction.
Copy correction. Honestly answer. And nobody is going to judge you. Yes, sir?
Many of us will agree to this, getting up early in the morning.
Getting up early in the morning. Substitution classes. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Thank you for your input. So teaching is a very noble profession. I hope you all agree with this. And teaching is also one of the most demanding professions, right? And it is a pressure building. You can say that we teachers are under pressure because there is an emotional attachment, emotional element is doubled. And that is why here is a game for you all. This icebreaker activity. The name of this icebreaker activity is the struggle bus. Any guesses what is this struggle bus? Any idea? As I said, we teachers are constantly working, right? We are constantly working, and because of that, we all are sometimes feeling drained. We are dealing with the students, we are dealing with completion of the academic calendars, as well as preparing the students for co-curricular activities, completion of the syllabus, and many more. And because of that, sometimes we all teachers feel burnout. So this struggle bus actually signifies the challenges and the symptoms, the common symptoms of the teacher or the burnout of the teacher. So rule of the game, I will read out each situation, and if you agree, you will raise your hand. It will signify that you have boarded the school struggle bus. Ready? So shall we start? First symptom. Dreading going to school. Dreading going to school. Early in the morning, as we said, in other words, getting up early in the morning. No. अच्छे से उठाइए. Okay. Next. Lacking the motivation to be productive. Sometimes it happens. Every time you cannot have the same energy to deal with the class. Sometimes some personal problems, sometimes our health doesn't allow. So sometimes we lack the motivation. So it is up to you. You can choose. If you feel so, you can raise your hand. Okay. Next, exhausted by taking extra period or substitution period. Okay. Managing or balancing work and family. Yes, sir? Time-consuming tasks and other administrative work. There is Narendra sir. You want me to repeat? Okay. Time-consuming tasks and other administrative work. Okay. Next, difficulty in managing student behavior and classroom management. And parents' behavior adding to it. Communication with the colleagues and the management. No one. Okay, that's good. Staying up to date with constantly changed technology. Okay. So lack of connection and lack of effective communication among yourselves. That actually is a repeated point. Colleagues I already have mentioned. Okay. Understanding the different learning styles in your class. Okay. Feeling drained after working on lesson plans. Difficulty in creating engaging lesson plans that fit to the curriculum as per NEP. Okay. So, can we improve our lesson planning as per the requirement of the new generation, guided by New Education Policy 2020. So advanced lesson plan aligned with NEP 2020 framework is now termed as process sheet. So now the name is, the lesson plan has also a name, that is process sheet. And the activities and the methods are termed as learning events. Whatever the method we are writing in the lesson plan, it is now known as the learning event. It focuses on creating a dynamic and student-centric approach in education. So this method emphasizes the integration of the multidisciplinary content, fostering critical thinking, creativity, and real-life problem-solving skills. The NEP-driven lesson plan of learning events encourages educators to adopt flexible teaching strategies, leveraging technologies, and diverse resources to cater to varied learning styles and passes by promoting experiential learning and continuous assessment. This approach prepares the student for holistic development and future challenges, ensuring an inclusive, equitable, and quality education for all. So what happens when we enter in a class, when we go in a class, when we write our lesson plan, we actually plan for the 40 minutes that how effectively we are going to use it, how effectively we are going to address the student, engage the student to complete the content or to deliver the things which are in the content so that the students will apply them into their life. And also we plan how effectively we conclude the lesson. So this is all we plan in our lesson. But let me tell you something. It is a fact. There is no framework or no format prescribed by any search board or CBSE. But definitely, it is a call from CBSE that we should prepare our lesson plan in such a manner that we should be able to align it with National Education Policy 2020, or it should fulfill the requirement of the NEP 2020. So the teachers, it is up to the teachers, it is up to the school that to have an order and the uniformity. So in today's session, we are going to have the NEP and learning outcomes, NEP and competencies, learning objectives and outcomes, and assessment type and essential of a lesson plan. Again a question. Why do we need a lesson plan? Why do we need a lesson plan for any chapter or unit? Yes, ma'am. For better classroom management. It channelizes how to teach a particular topic or a unit. Yes. Very good. To organize something in a proper manner, just yes. Systematic teaching. So you are all are well versed the importance of the lesson plan. Now there is an activity going on. I need some help. Please be ready with your pen. If you have the sketch pen, then fine. I hope you all are aware of the spray diagram. You know what is spray diagram? Spray diagram, you have to think about the topic in your mind. Okay, whatever the topic you are teaching in your class, you can take any topic from any class you are teaching. उस topic को Mamta ma'am has completed. So ma'am, a question. Which topic have you taken? पदबंध. पदबंध पे आप जब ये टॉपिक लिख रहे थे, आपके दिमाग में बहुत सारी चीजें आ रही थी. तो व्हाट आर दोस थिंग्स?
पदबंध पढ़ाना है आप बच्चों को, ये मैंने सोचा, और फिर उसके भेद बताने हैं. तो उसको कैसे वन से वो संज्ञा, सर्वनाम, विशेषण, क्रिया, क्रिया विशेषण पढ़ा है, उसको फिर से मॉडिफाइड वे में मुझे पढ़ाना है. पदबंध से रिलेटेड क्या है पदबंध, पदों का बंधन, उसके 5 भेद होते हैं. तो बच्चों को ये बताना था मुझे कि जो तुम छोटे बच्चे में नीचे क्लास में पढ़े हो, उसी का अभी विस्तृत रूप से पढ़ोगे. पदबंध करके बंद करना है, बांधना है पदों को. तो उसके लिए मैंने 5 भेद बताए कि इस तरह से उसको बताएंगे.
So this is what grade diagram kind of. तो इसको लेकर क्या आप अपने क्लास में जा सकते हैं? क्यों? Why not? Order. It is not orderly created. Then it was only in your mind that we have to cover this topic, and it is not possible that among those 40 minutes will you be able to complete it or not, or what are the things or what children's head. So all these activities are actually preparing our children to think in a creative manner or critical thinking. They can think critically. They can just think. So we are, in other words, we are preparing them again for the future. Provide students with the liberty to express individuality. Even NEP2020 talks about individuality. Every decision CBSE also says that every child say textbook for young people. Critical thinking is what activity we can take. Okay, reason question. Very good. That can be in problem solving, case study. Again, junior classes we can have find the missing letters, rearrange the word, managing information, digital interpretation you can say, find out something or find out from Google or write a note, taking help of this link we can provide a link. Then creativity and innovation is very easy. Yes. Kids okay role play and also the project based learning we can have art integration projects we are giving. Then communication, group discussion, quizzes, debate, collaboration. These sort of things activities, best activities, right? In the classroom, competition, discuss. So collaboration where two or three or more children can come together and perform a task. Then cultural and global citizenship. Art gallery is we had that art exhibition that can be cultural and global citizenship competition. Music competition, dance competition, painting competition, science exhibition, personal growth and well-being. All the four, right? We are talking about individual development of the individual or the growth, individual growth program. So here, these are the 21st century skills. We have already conducted some sessions on that. So collaborative, just now we competencies are like collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, communication, flexible. What does this mean? What is flexibility in our teaching of teaching and learning style? Very good. Changing as per the requirement of the child. As I said, we have different kinds of children in our class, and same way, like one size cannot fit for everybody. So same, your teaching method or teaching strategy cannot be fit for cannot fit for everyone. So here we need to have some flexibility in our teaching style. Leadership qualities, then initiative. Sometimes we find some students are always ready to all kind of work. Even some teachers are working initiative. So we should encourage them. Social skills, meeting each other, interacting with others. Information, media and technology all come under literacy skills, especially the digital. So here the time is for the activity. And the activity is, what is your teaching style? There are 10 questions. Honestly answer them. You have to subscribe and keep your 5 minutes motivation. Finished? Okay, how many of you have text A? Mostly A. No one. Mostly B. Almost everyone. C and D. So see, only this quiz was just to let you know the different teaching styles. The basic model of this quiz is whatever category you are falling in, you should be prepared with your class, with your lesson plan, and then only you should be well equipped when you enter in the class. But we have some categories, like the first category says the authoritarian. Authoritarians जो होते हैं they have the strict values for discipline, they have clear expectations, and they have the control over the class. And usually this kind of teaching style is teacher-centric class, you can say, where the students are not much interacting, where the teacher is is the whole and soul in the class. And the approach may lack warmth, but you provide a very highly structured environment. You provide a structure where the students have to learn. There is no option for them, they have to learn. Then, mostly those who have the best teachers we have in our LHS, that's authoritative teachers. Most of us have chosen this, where there is a balance between the calmness and the warmth of the teacher. So these kind of teachers are very much liked by the students, where they have the value for the discipline, where they have the value for their rules, and they are also flexible. Wherever they have to give this to deal with strictness, they are dealing it, where they have to be little calm and they have to provide something, some guidance to our teacher in a very cool manner, they are doing it. So authoritative is the teaching style which is known the best. So it is usually the student-centric class and teachers set clear rules. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि ये जो teachers हैं, they are not strict. They are strict. They have the clear guidelines. They have the clear rules. But also they encourage students for their individuality and they encourage them for their independence and other activities. Then C is formative teaching style, where we are little lenient and give students a lot of freedom. Sometimes this kind of approach also is important for nowadays. We cannot be very strict with them. Sometimes we need to take this teaching style also. We need to have this teaching style where we can give little leverage, little freedom to our students. But then we have to keep in mind that discipline of the class should be maintained. We should allow our children, we should allow our students to do their activities on their own. Then third one is uninvolved teaching. Uninvolved teaching, where teachers are not very much involved, they are just going and giving lectures, and actually if we have this teaching style, we need to switch over as per requirement of the NEP. So here the definition, when we talk about the lesson plan, as per NEP, the lesson plan is a plan prepared by a teacher to teach a lesson in an organized manner. Whatever the points are written here, we already have discussed. Already teachers have answered. It shows that you all are well versed with the lesson plan. So, and already we are practicing it. It is a plan of action and should have understanding on teacher's part about the student, knowledge and expertise about the topic being taught, and ability to use effective methods. And what are those methods? Those methods should include those 12 competencies that we had just discussed. Why planning a lesson? This planning a lesson is important for teachers as well as for students too. When we plan a lesson, when we go in a class in a prepared manner, it is helpful for both the teacher and the student. अब student के लिए ये कैसे helpful है? Because when we are going, just now you made this tray diagram and there are a lot of things. We have to go in and at the level, we have to drop down our level to the students. अपने students के level में उतरकर पढ़ाना है. If we think about the topic, there are so many things in our mind. And we cannot deliver in each and every class. We have to think about the level of the student. So when we prepare a lesson plan and then आप लोग बहुत सारे ऐसे topics हैं like natural disasters we are teaching in class 5 also, and I think in higher classes also there must be a topic. Same, we have some topics in math, we have some topics in science, common topics, but the level of that topic is different. So you have to prepare your lesson in such a manner that you are addressing to a certain kind of students, and then it would be helpful for the children to understand the topic well. When a student is getting a structured lesson, a planned lesson, a systematic class, they will definitely start liking the teacher. अगर हम पूरे नॉलेज होने के साथ क्लास में गए और फिर हम सारी चीजों को एक साथ अगर डिस्कस करने जाते हैं, तो बच्चों को बहुत सारी चीजें वो समझ में नहीं आती हैं, and in that case they just become restless because they are not gaining anything, they are not understanding anything. So lesson plan is important for child also, and lesson plan is important for teachers also. Students के लिए it is always good to have a systematic class, organized class, because it helps them to learn more. And when we talk about teachers, definitely it is easy for us to conduct the class. And record keeping. Lesson plan is a kind of record keeping for us. What lesson we have taught, what content we have already delivered. And sometimes nowadays you can see the students are also very alert and parents are also very alert. And in general discipline वगैरह में आप देखते होंगे, sometimes we get the complaint कि ये क्लास से बच्चा absent है, और फिर पेरेंट जो है कि मैम ये टॉपिक आपने पढ़ाया नहीं, एग्जाम में आ गया, then we have a record. If the lesson plan is a record, this day or this time in this class we have already taught this lesson. So it is a kind of record, and definitely it provides a professionalism in a teacher. It shows a professionalism in the teacher. So for learner, a structured lesson is easier to assimilate and it shows the teacher's devotion, well worked, organized, and have a model to imitate. And for learner and for teacher, it provides a record, helps to keep a good classroom management. It shows commitment and professionalism, and it helps to develop a personal style. So in lesson planning, these are the 4 factors we should keep in mind. First, goals. Goals can be the objective of the class, objective of the lesson. What you are going to deliver, what your students you are going to teach your students, what your students want to able to know. This is all a kind of objective. Then action. When your objectives are set, you can plan the activities according to that. So action is about your activities in the class. Then demonstration, demonstrate the learning. This is actually the assessment. Once the objective is set, activities are delivered, lesson is delivered, then now it is the time to assess. How are they going to demonstrate? Evaluation time. So this is the another one, demonstrate learning, and environment is actually completely become from the teacher, how you create the environment of learning. What are the activities you are including in your lesson plan that create an environment for learning? So model lesson plan should be based on India. India is the name of our country. But the model lesson plan should be based on India, where I stand for identification of learning and teaching style. Just now you have done the quiz on your teaching style. So once you are aware of the teaching style, when you have identified your teaching style, same way also you have identified the learners, what kind of learners we have in our class. If do they learn by seeing, by reading, by action. So if once they are recognized, we can plan our activities. Needs, as N stands for needs, as per different learning groups. We have 4 kinds of learning groups. Can anyone mention? Kinesthetic, visual, auditory, and reading and writing. So these 4 types of learners we have in our class. So once the needs or the different learning groups are identified, we can plan our action. Designing of the lesson. After that, we can design our lesson. Differentiation was the word in NEP recommendation, differentiation. When we identified the students, the need of the students, the types of learners, we can plan some action, we can plan the activities, and we can design our lesson. Implementation of the plan. Now everything is made on the lesson plan, but we are not implementing it. We are simply going in the class and teaching and coming back. Whether जबकि हमने ऐसे lesson plan में diagram भी बनाया है, हमने ये भी plan किया है कि बच्चों को हम कोई एक visit करवाएंगे, एक game activity करवाएंगे, but वो सब बातें कुछ नहीं है. So in that case, what will happen? Our lesson plan is completely going to fail and the connectivity will break down. Then assessment, that is evaluation, where the knowledge of the students, the retention, how much they have gained, that can be checked by different assessments. So a successful lesson plan addresses and integrates 3 key components. What the students will know, understand, and will be do that we call objective. And these objectives should always be written in action words. हम लोग देखते हैं students will be able to understand, but can we assess that? How much they have understood? No. So our objective, we should always mention the students will be able to demonstrate. The students will be able to describe, define, to to mark. So always use the action verb when you are writing the objective. Then lesson progression, what we have to teach means content part, and the assessment of plenary, what are the things we have to evaluate, or the things that we already listed, we had listed in the learning objective, are we are we achieved? Now here, there is a formula that is triple W or WWW. What went wrong? What went well in the class? Once you are out of the class, you can simply assess your children. आपको खुद पता चल जाता है कि आज मेरा क्लास कैसा था. Sometimes you are very satisfied कि yes, whatever मैंने मेरे दिमाग में था कि आज बच्चों को ये ज्यादा पढ़ाना है, वो मैंने पढ़ा दिया. So what went wrong and what went well? You can introspect कि आज मेरे क्लास में क्या चीजें अच्छी थी and what I have to improve. So what went wrong and what went well. Okay, I can see some of you are feeling sleepy. So an activity for you. I request all the math teachers to get up.
मेरी कविता का शीर्षक है विद्यार्थी बनूंगी। एक बार फिर से पढ़ूंगी, फिर से मैं विद्यार्थी बनूंगी। करनी सपनों को साकार जब मैं जारी रखूंगी, फिर से मैं विद्यार्थी बनूंगी। पुस्तकों से यारी करूंगी, जीत की तैयारी करूंगी। उसको मैं साथ लेकर जीवन में आगे बढ़ूंगी। एक बार फिर से पढ़ूंगी, फिर से मैं विद्यार्थी बनूंगी। राम में चाहे रोने आए, मुझको कितना ही डराए, मैं न डरूंगी, मैं तो पढ़ूंगी। ज्ञान की ज्योति में जलाकर जीवन में आगे मैं बढ़ूंगी। मैं तो पढ़ूंगी, आगे मैं बढ़ूंगी। स्वयं को प्रोत्साहित मैं करूंगी, सरस्वती का वंदन करके। पुस्तकों का हाथ में थामे जीवन सफर में आगे बढ़ूंगी। सच्चा दोस्त, सच्ची यारी निभाती है पुस्तकें हमारी। सच्चा ज्ञान देकर हमें जिनको कार्य हेतु योग्य बनाती। इसलिए फिर से मैं पढ़ूंगी, आगे मैं बढ़ूंगी। गीत ये मैं गाते रहूंगी। फिर से एक बार मैं विद्यार्थी बनूंगी, फिर से एक बार मैं विद्यार्थी बनूंगी। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is self-composed poem by her. और yes, we all are students right now, right? मैंने अपने पहले इंट्रोडक्शन में मैंने एक वर्ड that we teachers are constantly working and juggling with the work, और उन वर्क में I just missed to mention 50 hours of CBSE training. That is also a part of our work. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. The difference nowadays, many even in our lesson plan what we are writing, we have learning objectives, learning outcomes. If you have noted that. So what is the difference between these two words saying objective and outcome, or what do you think that these are different? They are different. Actually, they are different. Objective, like earlier before NEP, we used to mention the learning objective, right? And these learning objectives are usually that we are able to demonstrate, as I said, action words or जो पहले लिखते थे, students would be able to understand this. But now after NEP 2020, they suggest that it should be learning outcome, because our NEP 2020 talks about the educational outcome. So our learning objective should be transferred or should be written as learning outcome, so that our students will definitely gain something, and that is why it is suggested to use the action word. That can be assessment can be done testable. So learning objective is little vague, but learning outcomes where the student will definitely show something they have learned. It can be evaluated, and that is why it is said to use. Students would be able to discuss. आप देख सकते हैं, उनको जज कर सकते हैं. Students would be able to mark. Students would be able to demonstrate, something like that. All the action words. So the difference between the objectives are actually it is set and it is the teacher's plan. But outcomes are students' outcomes which they are able to demonstrate. So objective, the learning objective of a topic is specific statement of teaching intention, and basically it is a teacher's plan. It indicates one of the specific areas that the teacher intends to cover, and it gives information about what the teaching of the unit hopes to achieve. It is hope, cannot be assessed. But learning outcome is a statement of what a learner should know, understand, and be able to demonstrate after completion of a process of learning. Then about what the learner is able to demonstrate after the course of instruction or classroom transaction. Next slide talks about the preparation of the teacher. Like before the class, when we attend a class, before the class means our preparedness. What we should do, we should identify the learning objective. When we choose a topic, we should identify the learning objective, what we are going to teach in the class, plan the specific learning activities, assessment and the sequence of the lesson. Orderly, systematic, and then create a realistic timeline. Timeline is also very important. Means we should know in which time, in what time, how much duration are we going to take for one unit, for teaching one unit. If the time is set, your goals will be achieved. If time is not set, then it would be difficult for us to judge the child or the student's intention. Then plan for a lesson closer also. There should be some questions like एकदम तुरंत में ही lesson खत्म करोगे, we will continue tomorrow. No, there should be something for lesson closer also. We can have some evaluation kind of, we can ask some questions or something should be there for the students for the closure. Now when we are in the class, during the class hour, when we enter in the class, we should share our plan with them. It does not mean you have to show your lesson plan. But once you have decided the topic and the unit, you should introduce the students that today we are going to read or you all will be able just the same way again take the work. You will be at the end of the day, you will be able to demonstrate or you will, when we are teaching something math course, you would be able to mark this. You would be able to say the meaning of these words. Like this, you have to set the outcomes or the objectives during your class. And then after the class, the same triple W formula will apply here that what went wrong and what went well. That is for yourself to introspect that how you took your class, how was your presentation, how was your preparation and how attentive the class was. So this is triple W. Okay, so again, let's dance, please dance. For this activity, I request Rubina ma'am and Satyajit sir to come forward and I request all of you dear teachers to please stand up. Sanjay Jha sir. A music will be played here. Okay? और आपको just freestyle में you have to do your dance step or you have to move your body, whatever. It is completely a freestyle. But as soon as the music is stopped, Satyajit sir will give a step or something. You have to copy him. Even the facial expression. Shall we start? The expression also, the posture also, and the side of the hands and everything, the same thing. और आपने जो पहले बना लिया, you have to stick on that. Next. I will be mine, because I need you more. You're the only good it's the way I feel about Okay, thank you dear teachers, you can take your seat. Thank you for the active participation and thank you sir and Rubina ma'am. For this activity, you all are learners in the class. आप लोगों ने डांस किया, आपके ट्रेनर ने आपको डांस सिखाया, आपने अपने ट्रेनर को कॉपी करने का प्रयास किया, कुछ लोगों ने बहुत अच्छी तरह से कॉपी किया, लेकिन कुछ लोग अपने स्टाइल में थे. So this is only the learners in the class we are finding. They are copying their teacher. Some of them are very accurate in their work. आप जैसा इंस्ट्रक्ट करेंगे, आपको वैसे ही मिलेंगे. जो आप बोलेंगे word to word they will copy, they will learn. Some students ओके अपना भी मेथड उसमें कुछ अप्लाई करेंगे और कुछ ऐसे होंगे, अच्छा तुम ऐसे बोलोगे हम साउथ जाएंगे तुम नॉर्थ जाओ. We have this kind of children. So we have different types of learners in our class. And the students learn by these 9 ways. First, by doing. Just now. आपने कुछ स्टेप सीखा, आपने कुछ एक्शन सीखे by doing. Then searching inside yourself. We have yoga periods, we have PT periods, meditation. Some of us personally do a meditation and we do things that we get us pleasure, we feel free. So by searching inside yourself, by interacting with people, some of the children are very good communicators. They can communicate very well. Even with the strangers also, they can talk, they can interact. They are not shy. So they are learning by interacting with people, by reading books. That is why we encourage our children to visit library, to sit and read. Then by reasoning. Just now I gave an example that we have set of children in our class that they will, if you go north, they will go south. क्योंकि वहाँ वो अपना थिंकिंग स्किल लगा देते हैं कि अगर ऐसे करके देखते हैं क्यों नहीं हम ऐसे कर सकते हैं. They just give a try. So they have there is a room to give reason for everything. They are very good in reasoning. They think out of the box. And by facing challenges, many of us, जब हम लोग फर्स्ट टाइम हमने कभी साइकिल चलाना सीखा होगा तो तुरंत में या किसी भी चीज को, किसी नई चीज को, किसी नई डिश को ट्राई करते समय, साइकिल फर्स्ट टाइम चलाते समय, even when we started with our training sessions, I remember we all got us trembling how we are going to do it. But I am very sure nowadays everybody can take or conduct the lesson very nicely. So every starting we have students, they face challenges and then they learn by जो भी उनको challenges आते हैं उनसे वो सीखते हैं. That gives them the learning. And by facing fears, that we call about the Murphy's law. कि आप किसी चीज से डरेंगे वो चीज आपको करना वो आप उसका ही उसको फेस करेंगे. So by facing fears also, by experimenting and also by seeing when they see something, when they see their teachers doing, when they see their parents doing, when they see their peers doing, they try to copy. So these are the 9 ways to learn. And then 10 ways to give students more control of their learning. Flexibility, this is for teachers actually. कि ये 10 ऐसे ways हैं just if we apply, we can have control over students. First is flexibility in further. It means that every homework required. In each subject, in every day, each subject homework is not required. That actually we are practicing in our school. I have seen in the classes, like if they are getting homework in English, math teachers are not giving. So actually it should be the correct method that students should not be burdened with the homework activity every day. Then time assessment. We have types of assessment. We have so many things like fill in the blanks, evaluation questions you can say. But the same thing cannot be applied in every lesson. There should be some variation. There should be some, you should choose some interesting evaluation questions for the evaluation so that it will, students will be interested in doing their work. So evaluation type same nahi hona chahiye. That assessment should vary from each lesson to each lesson. Then personalized content. Project work is the best example. You can get the activity and the project subject-wise and personalized. You can indicate same project can be given in another way by different teachers. So personalize your content and accordingly you tell your students what you are expecting. Then adjust schedule, flexibility. Sometimes what we give the timeline after 2 days I am going to collect your notebook. But ऐसा नहीं होता है कि सारे के सारे बच्चे वो वर्क लेकर आते हैं. So you have to be little flexible in your work. You have to be flexible in your method. We just apply, we give the guidelines कि आपको ये project इस तरह से ही बनाना है. But sometimes students do it in another way and in a better way. So we should be open for taking their advice and we should give them the room to apply their own creativity. Goal setting. Goal setting again, my expectation is this, that I want the model, I want the lesson, I want the homework in this way within this stipulated time. So you set a goal, you set a time, and then students को आइए, it is very important to set a goal. Then self-assessment, give a room for this self-assessment. Ask the students also whether they are happy with the work, by doing their project work, what difficulties they face. What things, like in the beginning I asked you what do you like about your profession. Self-assessment is important. आप एक lesson अपने class का वैसा रख सकते हैं where you can have the interaction with your children. What you like about this chapter, what activity you like in this chapter, or what activities you can include in this chapter. हो सकता है कि कुछ अच्छा और भी अच्छा activities और कुछ अच्छे methods आपके बच्चे आपको बता दें. Then solicit student feedback. The same thing, self-assessment and feedback can go together. Feedback for the teacher as well. Use project-based learning that we are doing already related to the chapters. Seeing your आपको जो syllabus time है complete करने के लिए we have very limited time. But again, NEP2020, आप लोग देख रहे होंगे nowadays that every year something is that rationalized, the syllabus is rationalized. Every year कुछ न कुछ topic जो है वो उसको हटाया जा रहा है, omit किया जा रहा है. What is the reason behind? Because NEP focuses on the quality teaching, not the quantity teaching, and also NEP focuses upon the learning based and activity based education. And then it is a very common thing from the teachers that they are saying, when do we have the time to conduct all these kind of activities? In that case, this is the reason that NEP has given this platform. NEP has already kept it in the mind, and they are every year rationalizing the topic and they are omitting some chapters so that teachers could get the time to complete or to have the activities in the class. And then classroom policy. That is definitely we do it in the class. हम लोग जब भी first day of session में जाते हैं, so we usually set a common thing in the class, like I am a class teacher, or my expectation from this class is this. We usually do it. Same way the subject teachers also can do. That this is my expectation from this class. My expectations are, you can list your expectations and then you can address your classroom policy, and that is very helpful for organizing the children. So these are the 10 ways where we can have the control over our students. How do students learn best? When students are able to work independently on materials that are assigned. Sometimes, as I said, NEP also focuses upon individual items, individuality. So sometimes not only group activities, not only the project given in the group can be helpful, but also when we give something individual materials, they can do well. Field life information applies to real world when we connect it with the real world. Our experiences, बहुत सारे lessons में ऐसे कुछ टॉपिक्स होते हैं जिसको आप अपने लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस के साथ कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, अपने चाइल्डहुड के साथ कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं. तो एक स्टोरी काइंड ऑफ, so it will help the students to get connected with you and they will understand the lesson more. Then have the ability to review material multiple times at their own pace. When the material is given to them, when we have listed the materials for the project work, और अगर हम उसको कई बार उनको ये एक टाइम देते हैं, भाई अगर आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम है, you can ask within 2 days, and then if you give them time for reflecting upon how to work, how to proceed, then they will definitely get connected with that. They will learn best. Then have materials which are conducted to their learning style. As I said, we have 4 types of learning styles, and if we include the activities and accordingly when we prepare our lesson plan, we will be helpful for them and they will learn more. Take ownership of their own education. Take ownership means what? We have to engage our students in the studies. Not only everything can be delivered by the teacher, not the spoon feeding, but something should be there by the student's side to explore. And then feel comfortable with the technology. Nowadays, technology, everywhere is technology, everything is with technology. So we have to include some digital interpretation, some digital activities, so that they will get familiar with the technology and it would be helpful for them. Again, a quiz activity, walk questionnaire on learning styles of your students. This activity can be done as soon as you start your classes. Or actually, this is going to be very helpful in next session. I'm very sure you must have heard about 360-degree report card that is going to be introduced by NEP2020, where each and every personal details of the child you have to show in that. So this questionnaire, just please. I'm giving you the quiz. इस तरह के quiz को arrange करके you can classify your children according to their learning style. So it will definitely going to help you in future. Once the students are recognized on their teaching style, it will be easy for us to prepare the lesson plan and to address the requirements of each child as per NEP 2020. So this can be an example. You can prepare nowadays. All these questionnaires are already available on the net. You can have a print. You can have a quiz kind of in your class, and then after the rules, let's say 8 or 2 classes लगेंगे, where you will find the students stick करेंगे पढ़ने के बाद, and then you can classify whether they are visual learners, auditory learners, they are learning by reading and writing, or they are by memory. Just 5 minutes for this activity. Take yourself as a learner. So take yourself as student. It will also tell about whether you are visual, oral, you might read and writing, or kinesthetic. Teaching styles you are now aware of. Now you can be aware of your learning style. Done? 2 minutes more. Okay. Scoring is also given. You can check your scores and then you can find out whether you are a visual learner, oral learner, reader or writer, and a kinesthetic one. So here, how can we recognize the learning patterns of these styles? So those who are visual learners, they will be fast talkers. Here are the characteristics. They will be fast talkers, little impatient, use words and phrases that evoke visual images, and see and visualize. So these are the common symptoms or the characteristics of the children who are visual learners. When we see the another one, those who learn by hearing, auditory, or the oral learners, they will be slow speakers, natural listeners, linear thinkers, prefer explanation than text, listen and verbalize. Third one, by reading and writing. They prefer written text, emphasize text-based inputs and outputs, enjoy reading and writing. And the last one, those who are kinesthetic, they are slow talkers. बहुत कम बात करते हैं ये. Slow to decide, use all senses to engage in learning, do and solve, prefer hands-on approaches, learn through trials and errors. So these are the common characteristics in these 4 types of learning. Some activities to address in your lesson plan for visual learners, for oral learners, for readers and writers, and for kinesthetic ones. So these activities you can do for visual, charts and graphs, diagrams and symbols, flow charts, map reading, poster designing, visual art creation, providing handouts with illustration and color. So all these are just the examples for the visual learners. Next one is auditory, class and group discussions, speech making and debate, oral quizzes, oral reports, verbal instructions, audio books, reading aloud, voice recording. For activities for the readers, writing reports and recounts, multi-choice quizzes, writing notes to summarize text, writing essays and literature review, wide range of print media, and then next is kinesthetic, field trips and tours, dance, drama and role play, solving practical problems, videos of real life experiences and filmmaking. So these are some activities related to each category, each learner type, so that you can include in your lesson plan, and you can, in that way, you can address all kind of different children who are in your classroom. So these activities we should plan, we should write our lesson plan, we should include our in our lesson plan so that it would be our class or teaching would be effective for each type of children. So why differentiated instruction? Because classrooms are filled with students who have different needs, came from different educational backgrounds, have different attention span and interest, and have different language abilities, and have different cultural backgrounds. Not only this, we also have some special children in our class. तो हम जैसे मैंने बताया कि एक ही साइज हर किसी को फिट नहीं हो सकता है, तो हमारा एक ही लर्निंग स्टाइल हर तरह से हर एक बच्चों के लिए इफेक्टिव नहीं हो सकता है। और एनईपी इसी बात पर जोर दे रही है कि हमें अपने लेसन प्लान में ऐसे एक्टिविटीज को इंक्लूड करना है जिससे वी कैन एड्रेस ऑल नीड्स एंड ऑल टाइप ऑफ लर्नर्स ऑफ द क्लास। As I said, we have the special need issues in the children. Some of them are having some medical problems. Some of them have their development plan. They are not acting as per their age. Their mental health, learning. Some of them are having some disputes in the family that is reflected in their nature. So all these kinds of children we will be finding in our class, and then we should apply the Bloom's taxonomy. Again, Bloom's taxonomy is very important, where you have to remember recognizing and recalling the facts about the lesson. You have to understand, and you can scale it up to creation. So when we talk about the Bloom's taxonomy, again the first remembering is when Bloom's taxonomy in the previous slide, remember. So here remember is when memory is used to produce definition, facts, or list, or recite, or retrieve material. When you call your students to remember that, students to learn. In that case, what are they doing? Their memories are producing the definition and the facts. When we scale it up to understanding, how much they have understood, then it is about the constructing meaning from the different types of functions. Once the definition is read by them, definition is learned by them, they can now apply it to understand by constructing the meaning by writing or doing some graphic work. So in that case, they are understanding the concept. And then after understanding, they are doing it, applying it. They are working on their notebooks, they are working on their projects. So that refers to the situation where learner means the student is used, material is used by the student like models and diagrams. Once they remember the definition, they understood the definition, and now they are applying it by different diagrams and models. And after that, analyzing. Self-reflection, whether again WW formula here, that breaking the material and concept into parts, and they are just referring it to it, determining how the parts interrelate to one another or to an overall structure or the purpose. Then evaluating means making judgment based on criteria and standards through checking and critiquing. Evaluation, it is developing the critical thinking of the child. Then creating is about putting elements together to form a functional whole and reorganizing elements into new pattern or structure by planning and producing. So these are the action verbs what we were talking about, and it is now under the Bloom's taxonomy. If you want to click the pic, you can have, and you can mention in your lesson plan. Define, identify, describe, recognize, tell, explain, recite, memorize, illustrate, quote, understand. Students will be able to summarize, to interpret, to classify. Instead of using students would be able to understand, you can write students would be able to summarize, to interpret, to classify, to compare, to contrast, and so on. Students would be able to apply. Here Bloom's taxonomy point 3, and the action verbs would be, usually these things can be used by maths and science teachers like solve, change, relate, complete, use, sketch, then analyze, contrast, connect. All these are according to the Bloom's taxonomy. All these action verbs. So contrast, connect, relate, divide, correlate, illustrate, distill, Then evaluate, criticize, reframe, judge, defend. All these words are according to Bloom's taxonomy. All these are the learning outcomes which can be assessed, which can be achievable. Done? Shall I change the slide? Okay. Now here, assessment for. So lesson plan has three parts: assessment for, assessment as, assessment of. So assessment for is for the teacher. So assessment for learning enables teachers to use information about students' knowledge, understanding and skills to inform their teaching, and teachers provide feedback to students about their learning and how to improve. Assessment as learning. Assessment as learning is for our students. So students involved in the learning process where they monitor their own progress, ask questions and practice skills. Students use self-assessment and teacher feedback to reflect on their learning, consolidate their understanding and work towards learning goals. And third is the assessment of learning. It is for both and especially for teachers because it assists teachers to use evidence of students learning जो हम लोग report cards देते हैं. So evidence for the students learning to assess students' achievement against learning goals and standards. So a lesson plan will include the following. First, learning objective and outcome. We have discussed about this. Warm-up activities. Once you are entering in the class, you could have introduced some learning activities, some introduction kind of. Then resources. What are the resources you are going to use? Resources also have 2 points. One, that is media and what media is available in your class. Like we have this interactive panel. We have some digital board or help. And the another one that we write it under teaching aid. That would be you are going to take the help of the media like different links you can take. You can using the map. You are using the project or something model like that. Then prior knowledge check. Whenever we are going to the class, whatever they have already learned in the previous class, that is all related to that topic, and that we check through prior knowledge. The introduction of the new learning. Again, I said you have to set a goal for your learning that what you are going to teach. You have to set the learning outcome here. I have showed you the action curve, and that not only the learning objective, you have also mentioned the learning outcomes, that what you are going to give your students, how you are going to judge your students. The variety of activities, we discussed how we are going to, what are the activities we are going to involve to foster the skills like critical thinking. Just now we have discussed critical thinking, that problem solving skills, that other skills that are preparing our students for the life challenges. Then cross-curricular link and application in daily life. This is very important nowadays. Whenever we are teaching, आप लोगों ने अपने textbook में भी notice किया होगा that there are some links introduced. Each chapter has some links, or it is referred to the students that they can have the background, or they can have the report on this particular links are given. So here also we can introduce the link in our lesson plan. We can mention that what link we are going to give to our students to refer to that particular topic or particular lesson. Differentiated teaching and assessment. We just in the previous slide we were talking about the different learning styles. Now you are aware of your teaching style. You are aware of the learning style. What activities we can give to our learners, that different type of learners, and accordingly that who are visual, what are the things we are going to introduce, what activities we are going to include in that lesson. And again, that assessment or that activity should not be repeated for each and every lesson. That activity or things or the assessment type should be different for different type of learners according to their different learning styles. Higher order thinking questions for gifted students. In our textbook, we have higher order thinking question under the heading of thoughts. Have you all noticed? We are doing it also because it is related to the chapter, but it has something very different where they are involved. And these questions are thrown to everybody, and basically it is fostering the skill of problem solving, and we are addressing the students. Like we said, we have all kind of students. Some of them are higher IQ students. So these questions are addressed basically addressed or given to the students who are of high IQ. Recapitulation and summarization. This can be done under the form of questions, under the form of activities, group discussion, debate. This as per topic, as per your choice, as per the learning style, as per the teaching style that can be adopted. But it is important that as I said, that there should be time or a room for closure in every lesson. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए that every class we are going now, tomorrow we will read and bell has gone and then we are leaving the class. We just left the class just like that. No. We should plan our lessons, everyday lesson in such a way that there should be some time for recapitulation, and after the recapitulation only we can connect for the next class that tomorrow we will read this. And when next day when we are going it should be related to the prior knowledge. Then research and project-based education, where we can have the project-based learning, we can have some activity-based learning, we can have some art-integrated projects, and then plenary and assessment. Evaluation question, something should be given then in written that can be evaluated. So objective of the lesson, it is a statement or purpose for the whole lesson. Objective statement should be itself answer what students should know, what they should understand, and what they should be able to. And when we are writing the objective, we should keep the different learning styles of each child. Usually we have some sensitive students, low achievers, then middle achievers. It is a mixture of the class. That differentiation is the word keyword which we discussed. How to start the lesson? When we are going in the class, simply we cannot throw the lesson to them. We should gain the attention of the students. And how can we do that? By different activities. Again, NEP2020 is given or emphasizes on learning or active learning kind of education, where the students should be engaged and they should explore things. So we should gain students' attention. We should be able to gain the attention. We should create an environment for the learning environment for our students. Then very clearly we have to set our objectives that today we are going to read, or today you will be in action. Again, you have to use the action word. Today you will be at the end of the day, you would be able to demonstrate, or you would be able to mark, or you would be able to discuss. Then communicate the expectation for the outcome. This is what I said. Reference to the previous learning. It should be short. It can be an activity or game. It can be a set of questions. The quiz just now I had given you that kind of quiz 5 questions or 10 questions as the form of quiz you can give related to the topic. So it will definitely refer to the previous learning and it will connect to the next lesson. These are the activities you can include. Learning progression plan is actually the content, what you are going to deliver, and there should be the room for thoughts and higher order thinking skills and the question. Plenary means the methods and the assessment that learning to verify and reassess the learning of the students of different ability groups. Question must be very specific and related, linked to the objective. आपने जो objective set किया है, जो learning outcome set किया, that is why it said it is advised to mention the learning outcomes instead of learning objective. And general class questions should lessons follow up, homework should be given, and conclude the lesson with a link or lead to the next lesson, just like this. You should mention the link what you are going to give your students. It should be mentioned in your lesson plan. So as per NEP 2020, the model should be lesson objectives and outcomes are stated clearly and reviewed at the end of the chapter. Teachers should make full and effective use of resources with integration of ICT in learning. Teachers should use effective questioning to evoke students' critical thinking. The tasks, activities, and resources should support and challenge students of all learning groups to maximize their progress. Teachers should expect the students to take responsibility of their own learning. Collaborative and independent learning should be promoted. One more activity of 5 minutes. The first activity we did on the spray diagram, where you had chosen a topic of your choice and you just made a diagram. But now in this activity, you have to take the same topic and you have to prepare a lesson of 10 minutes under these headings. Your learning unit means the chapter which you are going to take, that for the first activity you all had taken already. Please use the same topic. Learning objectives, kindly use the action verbs. Enabling objective is here the learning outcomes. Enabling objective that you are going to achieve it. The students are going to achieve after your lesson. Then content, method you are going to use. Teaching aid, media and equipment that you are having in your classroom, which is given to you or provided to you by your school. The environment of what you are getting. And the performance aid, if you are using some teaching aids like charts, like models, some media links or internet, you have to mention here. Then time, set a time. Your class should be time bounded. If it is 10-minute class, those 10 minutes should be utilized in such a way that your objective or outcome, your content, everything, and there should be a room for closure. So you can make your lesson plan in this way. Day and date you have to mention, like which class you are going to and which period, which day, and the assessment question, and then your felicitator, the name of the teacher who are going to take, the trainer. Just 10 minutes class, you can just conclude in one line, 1 or 2 lines. these points, please keep in your mind when you are preparing for the lesson plan, school lesson plan. Shall we proceed? Done, teachers? So, NEP driven lesson plan or advanced lesson plan by 2020 way should be SMART, means specific, measurable in quality and quantity, attainable or achievable, relevant to the learner, and time-bound or testable. So this is the key word for NEP lesson plan. So your takeaway, I'm just going to play a video for you all. You have to pick any 3 words today from this video. That would be your takeaway for the day. the words. These any three words that you are going to choose would be your takeaway from this session. माना कि आप किसी का भाग्य नहीं बदल सकते, लेकिन अच्छी प्रेरणा देकर किसी का मार्गदर्शन कर सकते हैं। भगवान वेद व्यास जी कहते हैं, जीवन में जब कभी मौका मिले तो सारथी बनना, स्वार्थी नहीं। With this quote, I end this session and I really thank dear teachers for your active listening and participation. Thank you so much.
A very good afternoon to all of you. Jain here. I am here to propose the vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Almighty God for keeping all of us healthy, sound. Every one of us attended this seminar very nicely. Also, I would like to thank brother to give us opportunity to learn and revise all the things. Special thanks I would like to give to brother. This is an opportunity to know all our colleagues. That much of it is, we all are so much efficient and we are presenting ourselves nicely. It is a learning time, not only about the content, but to know our colleagues also. So thank you, brother, for giving us opportunity. Thank you, ma'am, for being a resource person today. This is Anjna, ma'am, for making the session more lively and informative. Hope every one of us are going to apply in our class and preparing the lesson which we are already doing. But if we are going to apply all the things what he has mentioned today, really it is going to make our lesson plan more effective. And we are going to enjoy the class. Even the student, for the student it will be joyful if we are going to apply these all things. I would also like to thank Satyajit sir, Rubina ma'am and Saran ma'am to help during the session in providing us the handouts and giving us leisure moment and the stage. I would like to thank all dear teachers to be actively participating in this. Also, I would like to thank all the non-teaching staff for making this event possible for us by supporting us. Thank you everyone. Have a nice weekend.